Primary Arms reached out to us and said, hey, have you guys tried out our 1-6 and 1-8 by 24 ACSS rifle scopes? We said,
no, but we'd like to. And so we did. So these have bullet drop compensating for 5.56, 308, 5.45, and 6.5 Grendel. It has the ACSS reticle. They're very cool. Stick around and we're going to tell you all about them. Well, first we'll take a look at the 1-8. This has got a 30mm tube, has 1-8 power magnification, has a 24mm objective diameter, and a 33.2mm ocular diameter. Field of view is 110 feet at 100 yards at 1 power, and 14.5 feet at 8 power. It's got 1/2 MOA clicks, has 140 MOA of elevation adjustment, also the same in windage. It's 10.5 inches long, weighs 19.4 ounces with the lens covers. It has an illuminated reticle, has fast focus eyepiece, second focal plane. It's waterproof, nitrogen purged, fog resistant, fully multi-coated. It's made out of 6063 aluminum, uses one CR2032 battery to illuminate the reticle. The reticle is visible even if it's not illuminated, has flip-up covers included, and has a lifetime warranty.
That's right. And the 1-6, which is very similar, is actually going to be about a 1/2 inch shorter. It too has the 30mm tube diameter. As I said before, this is a 1-6X. The objective diameter is 24mm, with the ocular diameter being 33.2. The exit pupil is going to be 9 to 4mm. Eye relief 3.3 to 3.5 inches, which is really good. We like that longer eye relief. Field of view is 110 feet at 100 yards, 19.3 at 100 at 6x. Click values on this are going to be 1/2 inch as well. Total elevation of adjustment and windage are going to be at 140 MOA. The weight of this is 18.1 ounces with the lens covers. It has a red partial illumination, fast eye focus. It's also second focal plane, waterproof, nitrogen filled, fog resistant, fully multi-coated. Again, the same 6063 aluminum, and also uses the CR2032 battery. We can take off the knobs for the windage and for the elevation. You'll see underneath the windage, we actually have a spare CR2032 battery, which is very cool. It has no special tools needed for this 1/2 click MOA. Very nice firm click, so you know exactly where you're at on this. On the opposing side, we do have the set intensities for the illuminated reticle on this. You're going to find that on this model that we have 11 clicks of intensity.
Let's talk about the ACSS reticle. Here we've got the manual here, and over here on the right we have an auto ranging thing. Now this is assuming that your average target is 5 foot 10 inches tall, and if you put his feet right there, then if he's that tall, then he can ride this ride. But he's also at 800 yards. That would be 700 yards. That is 6.54. If we move over here, we see that the reticle is 18 inches wide at 100 yards. It's important to note that all of this will be done at full magnification, any of the calculations. So at the highest power, it's a second focal plane. So this would be, the point is our 100 yard zero. And then we have our 300 yard zero, 400 yard zero, 500 yard, 600, 700, and down to 800 yards. Now this compensates for a whole wide range of rounds that would fit into those trajectories. So the average target's chest is 18 inches wide. We can also come over here, and these will also correlate to 18 inches. So if the target's obscured, you don't know how tall it is, but you can see how wide his chest is, you can estimate the range by holding this up here, and then you just pick your zero here. These are wind drifts, these dots. That's assuming an average wind. This, if we turn the page here, we talked about moving the target. These two dots on the reticle would be for leading a vehicle or a person moving at 8.6 miles an hour.
Yeah, that'd be like a running speed.
This would be 3.1 miles an hour would be to hold to the outside of the circle. These dots are assuming a 5-mile-an-hour wind. So there's a lot of function packed into this reticle. I like it. All right, so we have mounted up the 1:6 with the ACSS reticle on the OptiView Agubatron 2000. So you can look through this optic with us, and you can see now this is the 1:6. It's very clear edge to edge. We are at 1 power. You can see the reticle, you can see the dots. You can see that we have the reticle can get lost in the darkness, and that's where the beauty of the illumination comes in. Turn on the illuminated reticle and we can see all of our things. We are at 1 power, looking at the 100-yard range right now. Gonna zoom in to the 6 power, which is the magnification that you would use all of your ranging features. You can see we have a torso-sized gong there, and
right about 18 inches wide.
Yep. And then
let's take that up to the 200-yard gong. Get that far. So we could use that precise chevron in the middle.
Yep.
For tagging that. I really like the horseshoe chevron. It makes for a great fast target acquisition. You can clearly see the dots on the left and the right for leading edge if your target was running away from you at about 9 miles per hour.
If my gongs are running away, we got problems.
Yeah, we do. But we've got the tools to take care of it if they are.
Exactly. So this is the 1:6. There's the reticle. We're gonna have Eli go up there. Once again, this isn't mounted on a rifle. This is mounted just on a camera mount. Eli's gonna go up there, and we will see what a person-sized target looks like through the reticle. So he is about at 160 yards, and that is what the reticle looks like. We're going to switch over to the 1:8 and take a peek through it. Alright, so now we've switched over to the 8 power. Now you can see that on the 8 power, just the circle and the dot are illuminated. On the 6 power, it was all of the bullet drop compensating little staff there. This one's just the dot. You know, one thing I really like about these, Bob, the whole 1:6 or 1:4, they're just really versatile, because if you just leave them on 1 power, they operate just like a red dot with lots of eye relief and really forgiving about eye position.
Exactly.
And then we have the option to actually, on this one, zooming in the 8 power. So
yeah, 8 power, it doesn't seem like a very significant amount of magnification, but when you're looking at a man-sized target through this reticle on this scope, it actually is pretty significant. You'd have no problem making your precise shot that you needed to make if you had a miscreant that needed to be eliminated.
That's right. Let's turn this one down. Now, one thing I did notice on the 8 power, Bob, is well, I can't see it now. I did notice a little bit of fishbowl effect at 1 power, but I don't see it through the camera right now. But I could see it a little bit when it was on the rifle.
Now we're just going to zoom in back to Eli, and there we have the 1:8.
So we can tell, because we have this little chart here, we can tell that he's closer than, he's either a giant or he's closer than 400 yards because of our scale over here.
And he is taller than the 5'11" or 5'10" average. He's what, about 6'2"?
Yes.
Shoulder width is about 18 inches.
We'll turn the illumination off so you guys can see the reticle in its native state. Clear glass, it's bright. Just a little bit of fuzziness at the very, very, very edges.
For the price point, though, it's pretty negligible even to really even mention anything, but it is there, so we have to say it. But you know, for about a $300 piece of glass, it is pretty phenomenal for what it is.
Let's look further out at some longer ranges.
Perfect.
Alright, so we've got Eli out there at about 500 yards. If we put the reticle at his feet, we can see that, look at there, the 500 yard hash mark is right there. So if Eli was a bad guy, then we would transfer that over here and we would use the 500 yard hash mark. If there was wind, we would shift it left or right to the dots according to the wind. If he was traveling, we'd also lead him. But that's a pretty handy feature right there. If shit ever hits the fan and it comes to it, if there's a bad guy, it's a handy reticle. So also here we're going to judge how wide he is. So 18 inches. If we just use that 500 yard hash mark, that's how wide it is, and that just covers it. So that works pretty well. So we're looking at the 8 power, and we are fully zoomed in. Here's what it looks like at 500 yards at 1 power. We're going to switch over to the 6 and do the same thing. Alright, we're looking through the 1 to 6 right now. The bridge is 500 yards away. Eli's standing on the bridge.
We're going to increase the intensity now. We're going to go all the way to 6 power. And there we are.
And once again, we'll use the range finding reticle over here and put the bottom hash mark at his foot. And the 500 yard hash mark is at about his head. So then we've ranged him at 500 yards. And then we have a holdover hash marks that would correlate with that.
Pretty impressive how accurate that is.
It is. It's a dandy reticle, really. Now we're looking further out in 1,000 yards and such. That's a quick look at the ACSS reticle through the primary arms 1 to 6 and 1 to 8.
Let's take it into the woods where it's nice and dark so we can take a look at that reticle in darkness.
Let's do it.
And here we are in the darkness of the forest. Just getting an idea of what this reticle looks like in the dark. If you were in a forested area and needed to see your reticle, as opposed to when we turn it off here, it's very hard to see unless we have a white background. But if we're looking through the forest, it's a little bit difficult to see that reticle, but we can turn it on. And now we have a clear view in the darkness of where our bad guys could be hiding.
Or a deer.
Or a deer. You know, this has technical implications, hunting, predator, all sorts of stuff that this scope can be used for. Very versatile and pretty clear. We're going to back this down, or sorry, increase this up. And just looking through the forest. And here we are looking through the 1 to 8 in the darkness of the forest. And again, you can see how the reticle can get obscured in the dark, but by turning on the reticle, you can see how your target can be easily acquired. Whether we're out here looking for a bobcat or a bad guy hiding in the woods, he would have no chance of escape using this ACSS reticle. I've never really had experience with 1 to 6 and 1 to 8. You know, I've got 1 to 4.
Exactly.
You've got 1 to 4.
And I'm a big fan of that because of the reason it works almost like a red dot. So 1 power, quick target acquisition,
right.
Bam. But being able to increase the magnification to like 4 power, which would be equal to an ACOG,
yep.
has always been a beauty in a deal. And so that's been my go-to for quick defensive firearm.
Right.
Having the ability to zoom into 6 or 8 kind of transcends that from close range to now we can reach out and poke targets that are further out, 400, 500, 600 yards.
Exactly, and we could see today when we were looking at the footage of Eli when he was down 500 yards away. Mm-hmm. You know, that was an acquirable target that we could definitely take.
And it illustrated the ACSS reticle and the functionality of it really nice. So, you know, there's always kind of a debate or a thought if you're going to go with adjustable turret knobs and adjust the scope or a bullet drop compensating reticle. This makes it really nice because it has the tool to estimate the range and the bullet drop compensating reticle all in one kind of a deal. It makes it quick and handy and pretty easy to use. You can use 18 inches long. It's the body of a coyote for a hunter, or from shoulder to hip on a larger game. Those kind of estimations, just really functional.
Yeah, it's the versatility. Whether you're a 3-gun shooter, just somebody who's going out to the range, or a hunter, or somebody who's looking for something for home defense, the 1 to 6 and the 1 to 8 definitely cover it all, with the versatility of close up or long range, which we saw today when we were shooting 160 yards, and it was just a phenomenal scope for the price.
I think that they're a really versatile scope, and they're affordable, and a lifetime warranty, and put out by good people. So I think that they're definitely worth considering if you're going to be purchasing a scope for your AR or whatever.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you've got a $300 budget that you're trying to stay below, keep in mind the primary arms 1 to 6 and 1 to 8, it covers all the bases.
Hey folks, you can't take back a bullet and you never ever want to wish that you could, so always follow the 4 basic safety rules whenever handling firearms.
That's right. Stay safe, shoot straight, like
Okay.
and subscribe.
We'll see you on the firing line.
Thanks for watching.